What's going on, everybody?
Chris Gonzalez, Rip Toby, rest in peace, brother.
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Mike Jimenez. This is the Alamo City Sportscast coming at you from San Antonio, Texas. West Side, West Bexar County represented. We got Joe Garcia producing today's show. Already the streamline is lighting up right now. We have a private chat right there where people can be part of the show. We're no longer on Facebook, no longer on Twitter. We now live 100% on YouTube. Subscribe to the Alamo City Sportscast. The best of the best comments get posted. We talk about them. It's your way of being part of the show. Lots to get into. The Spurs are going to start the rodeo road trip tomorrow. And the big question for me is, let's predict a record for the Spurs on this 9-game rodeo road trip.
You know my prediction already. If you've
listened
to
0-9, right?
Well, no. If you've listened to the latest Locked On Spurs that came out yesterday, me and Jeff were kind of giving our predictions. So I'll let the people know what I thought.
Okay. We're also going to get into the fact that Klay Thompson made me sad yesterday. Klay Thompson speaking to the media, it was so sad. I don't know if I should feel bad for the guy or not, because, I mean, he's part of the Splash Brothers. He's going to be a future Hall of Famer, and now he's getting benched at the end of games. And the way that, I don't know if you saw that interview, Joe, the interview that he had, and Draymond Green is just talking crap in the background. Yeah. We'll get into Klay Thompson in a bit. Pop culture news, we lost a country music icon. Toby Keith has passed away from stomach cancer. We'll get into that. And then also people are roasting me about this already, so we'll get into that during the entertainment section. Dude, what's up with porn stars these days, man? There's another one that is in critical condition after ODing over the weekend. Lots going on when it comes to that. First, it was Jessie Jane, who died of overdose. Then we saw Lisa Ann get busted over at Radio City Music Hall, and now we have another one who's having some issues going on right now. No Tuesday with Teague. Carolina Teague is not in today. She is busy today. I have asked to see if she wants to host on Friday. Let's see.
She might be hosting the show by herself on Friday, because I forgot I got to go and take my son to go visit some college campuses.
That
he's been accepted to. So I'll talk with Carolina. She's fully capable. You know?
Okay, yeah. Other things to talk about today. The 49ers are already bitching about the practice surface there in Las Vegas, and the NFL commissioner is like, dude, settle down. And then Killer Mike addresses the Grammy arrest that he had. He won 3 Grammys earlier that day. That night, gets arrested. He talks about what he says happened in his eyes. But let's go ahead and get going. We're going for about an hour and 15 minutes or so. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day.
I'm having a fantastic day until I looked at my Twitter line, and I'm like, I wake up and I'm like getting the show ready. I'm like, Mike already getting roasted. Jeff just finished putting out the tweet again. And then I'm making fun of you, and I put Mike about to get benched on the Alamo City Sportscast.
You know, it's so funny because I think the problem that I have here is, so let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room, right? The whole Toby Keith thing, right? So I probably should apologize for making a post on Twitter today.
That was in bad taste,
That was
man.
in bad taste.
That
right?
was, dude.
And Toby Keith passed away. He had cancer.
Yeah, he had stomach cancer.
And I believe he was 62 years old, if I'm not mistaken. Toby Keith, there are so many positives and so many negatives of him. But the thing is that whenever somebody dies, we talked about this yesterday with Selena, right?
Yeah.
We don't know the whole story about who Selena is because we get the side that the family represented. And maybe she was an angel. I don't know. We never got to see anybody kind of in the middle say anything about anything. And it's funny when someone passes away, everyone talks about how great of a person they are. When Michael Jackson passed away, he's a great man. Well, really was he? You know, really was he? So there's a lot of that going on. So a lot of people were coming out. And the first thing I thought of when I thought of Toby Keith was, I just didn't like the guy. I just didn't like him.
Why not?
The guy appeared and came off as a jerk in many, many ways. And the thing is that when it comes to people, whether it be myself, you, Joe, Toby Keith, Jeff Garcia, the people listening right now, the fact of the matter is that we are all good people. We're also bad people at the same time. I think it was Swiss that mentioned that on Twitter earlier today.
Yeah, he did.
That we are all assholes, right?
From time to time.
From time to time.
Dicks, yeah.
But it's also the degree of it, right? So the positives of Toby Keith was that after his diagnosis, he became very philanthropic, right?
Yeah.
He started doing things towards children's cancer research and stuff like that. He was doing things towards getting kids involved in music. Positive things, right? One other positive thing about Toby Keith is that the motherfucker actually produced album after album after album. He did not rest when it came to producing music.
He's a hard worker, bro.
Now, we could debate whether that music was any good or not, but he did churn out album after album after album. He was also one of the ones responsible for getting Taylor Swift off the ground when it came to her career in country music.
Yeah.
The negatives was it's kind of a jackass. The negatives was if he didn't like you, he would try to get you blackballed in the industry. If he Dixie Chicks being one of them. The other thing is, dude, he had a song that's considered to be a pro-lynching anthem. Of course, he says, well, I didn't use the word lynching, but you read between the lines that it is what it is, right? So lots of positives, lots of negatives, but he was a dick to a lot of people. Now, when it comes to music, not my style of country music, okay? I'm not going to sit here and say that I am the biggest country music fan.
Yeah, I'm not.
Because
I'll
I'm not.
it.
But when I do listen to country music, I listen to George Strait. I listen to Garth Brooks and Reba.
Brooks and Dunn.
Vince Gill. There's a certain amount of class that comes with certain country music because country music can be very beautiful. Forgive all my R&B music fans out there because I'm a big R&B guy. You know, I love the Brian McKnights and the
You'd be singing
Boys
to
to
some
Men
bump
world.
and grind. Come on, man.
But the best love songs are oftentimes sung in country, right? As by country music artists.
Hey, man. Sometimes those country music singers, man, they be singing and they talking about a lot of pain, bro. You can hear that in the song,
Like
man.
the old story goes, you play a country music song backwards, and what, the dog comes back to life, the wife comes back, he gets his house back, and his truck is magically fixed. The thing about it is that, like, there's a certain branch of country music that I just don't like, and it's the heavily rednecky part of country music that I don't like. Right? I like more of a classy country music, and he did not represent that. Right? And also, I kind of found the patriotism part of it all to be kind of done for money for me.
You think the guy was just patriotic, man? He loved his country, man.
Dude, it was a money grab, dude. Like, I didn't buy it.
Oh,
Plus, he was a dick to the Dixie Chicks, and, well, that just is what it is. Or should I call them the Chicks? Because they're no longer the Dixie Chicks because they dropped the Dixie part.
And one of them passed away, too. One of the
founding members,
man.
like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, rest in peace. And she died, man, in a car accident, man. She had a family and everything. So
now, one thing that I will say though, I did see about 6 months ago a CBS Morning News. I don't know if you ever watched CBS Morning News, like the weekend edition,
way back in the day.
Dude,
you can't forget that iconic little jingle, right?
Yeah, when it comes in, it's very soothing, right?
Yeah.
You wake up in the morning, you have you get some pan dulce, some coffee, and you watch Sunday morning. CBS Sunday Morning, right? There was an interview with him, and it was talking about like the way that he thinks about in life when it comes to his illness, right? And he seemed to be less dickish then. He seemed to be kind of like he was thinking about, you know, the future, and he was thinking about his legacy.
That happens to you, though.
It happens when you get sick.
Exactly, man.
Right? But between the years 2000 and 2010, he was kind of a dick. Pointed that out.
Hey, man.
But I will say where I was wrong. Okay, I'll say where I was wrong. And Chris Leha from MCS General Contracting pointed this out, that maybe I shouldn't put him in the same vein as R. Kelly, Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, and all these people who did shit that was illegal, right? He was just a dick. He was not a criminal. Two different things. And that's a higher level. That's a better level, right? Criminal is worse than being a dick. So Chris Leha from MCS General Contracting, Diamond Hard Concrete, you are right when it comes to that, right?
Man, Chicana Fuerte has me laughing right now because I'm going to bench your ass, right? On Twitter. And she puts, I'll take his spot. Laugh out loud.
I might need help on Friday because I'm not going to be here. I will actually be in Houston for a business meeting.
That would be something, man. An all ladies hosted show on Friday because we're not going to be here.
Yeah.
You know?
So, by the way, someone posted, and I say someone because I was working today. I was off of work for 50 days.
That's a long time.
Because I have some changes that I'm doing to my business. And because of that, and because of all these different things that needed to be done for my business, I was off from December 15th all the way till yesterday. So it was like basically 50 days. And I finally went back to work yesterday. So people are like, why did you erase it? Why did you erase it? It's because I have to go to work. I was able to live on Twitter and respond to people's comments for the last 50 days because I didn't have anything better to do. But now I'm back at work, right? My business is now back up and running, and I'm self-employed. So if you want to come after me, I'm self-employed. So, I'm my own boss. I look at,
How about call you supervisor?
call my supervisor. Yeah, call me. Call
Duncan.
me. Yeah, Duncan is my supervisor. I am my own boss. So it just is what it is.
Man.
But the thing about it is that someone pointed out, and I forgot because I was having breakfast. Someone pointed out saying that this was the worst take that I've had since equating the Rangers to Yolanda Saldivar. And I forgot that post. I don't know that comment. Was it something that I said on air, or was
Which
it
one?
The Yolanda Saldivar?
Oh, you gonna go ahead and you're gonna stick up for her? You want to hear her side?
No. I didn't say that. Someone said that I mentioned the Texas Rangers and Yolanda Saldivar in a reference somewhere.
We got to go watch the tape, man.
I got to figure out what this is, man. Jesus Riviera reaches out to us on our YouTube stream. You can leave your comments with us saying, how was it drinking with Lieutenant Dan? That was a great meme last night. Whoever photoshopped me with Lieutenant Dan yesterday. Man. That was fantastic.
That was probably Swiss, man. That guy's on it, dude. He's the master of memes, man.
Do we have any good comments coming in? Because I just kind of went stream of consciousness.
No, I'm just like, they're just putting, Chris Gonzalez says the Dixie Chicks were dicks, You
know what, Chris? You know what? It is possible that both of them were dicks. Okay, because if you remember, the Dixie Chicks went out there and they performed, I believe it was in Europe, saying that they were ashamed of George W. Bush because they said, hey, well, that they didn't believe in the invasion of Afghanistan or the invasion of Iraq. And again, WMDs, I don't believe were found, right? Man. So in retrospect, the Dixie Chicks were right. But Toby Keith was like, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go grab that Lee Greenwood money. I'm going to go get something patriotic. I'm going to make that money, baby. And that's what he ended up doing. But then again, they went back and forth with each other.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it's one thing to say that you don't agree with somebody and you go back and forth with them, right? But Toby Keith pulled a George Lopez. Remember George Lopez last year?
Hey, you want to talk about dicks. George Lopez, bro.
Right. So what I'm saying is he had George Lopez vibes in him.
Yeah.
George Lopez wants to get Latino comedians off the bill and not as popular as him. He blackballs comedians. Toby Keith was trying to blackball the Dixie Chicks and people who didn't agree with him from music, fucking with their ability to make money and have a career. And ultimately he killed their career. Okay, because the Dixie Chicks did come back. Not Gonna Make Nice became this big anthem for them. They won Grammys for it, all of that stuff. But essentially, they were not a pop act. So they were pulled off of country music. He killed their career. That right there is a dick move.
Yeah.
You can say that you don't agree, but when you're advocating for stations to pull people off the air and kill people's career, that is not going back and forth and, oh, we just disagree politically. That's being a dick.
Yeah, man. That's why I like San Antonio's own, like Gabriel Iglesias, that Latino comedian comes through. He seems like a real genuine, straight up dude, man.
And he encourages people around him. I didn't like Toby Keith's music. I really didn't. I've been to the bar that he has there
Red
in
Solo
Nashville.
Cup, man. Come on, bro.
Okay, first of all,
that's a banger, bro.
That's a jam.
That's a banger.
It reminds me of there was a post that I saw a while back on Twitter, and I can't find it. This was probably about a year or two ago. Someone said that every artist that you hate, there's at least one song that you like.
Yeah.
And it said, what band or artist do you hate, but you like that one song? I'll say that Red Solo Cup is that one.
Look at what Matt Lerma said. He said Red Solo Cup was based off a San Antonio rapper song, and Toby didn't give him a writing credit.
I have no idea if that's the case, but if it is true, it goes a long way.
David Outwater, he says Toby had some badass USA songs. He did, man. And you know what? Chris Leha also brought up a very good topic too, a very good comment. He says that Toby Keith, love him or hate him, he played a lot of songs for the military. He would go on tour and play a lot of songs for them, and always thanking the servicemen and women. So I mean,
And part of me is thinking this though. Patriotism is patriotism, but if you're taking patriotism to the bank, it makes me question it.
He's just donating time, bro. At that point,
No,
you're not getting
no,
paid
no, no,
for
no.
the USO, bro.
You're not getting paid for the USO, right? But you're getting paid somehow. You're getting paid with publicity, getting paid with exposure. You're getting paid in public relations. It just makes me question, right? If you're making money off of that, really, it's kind of like the easiest thing to do right now is to make money by selling albums that are Christmas related. People following the Mariah Carey path, right?
Yeah.
And now you see Kelly Clarkson with one and Ariana Grande and all that stuff. And I just look at it and I just think that it's fake. I think that it's all fake. I think they look at it, they look around, like that guy that last year that had that racist song about not in this town or whatever.
They canceled that fool, man.
They look around and go, what's going to make me money? You can't tell me that they don't do that. That they just sit there and go, oh, I've been a patriot this entire time. I'm going to write an anthem. No, it's a business decision, baby.
Chris Leha called you out. He's like, your take this morning was a grab. You wanted us on the chat.
I'll never tell. Jacob Eric says, I love this bar. It's my favorite Toby song.
Hey, that's a banger too, bro.
You know what? Okay. It's funny because like, if you're not going to be singing about love or breakups in country music, singing about a bar or about drinking, you know what? I can hang with that. I can hang with that. Dude, we talked about the Grammys all day yesterday. When did this stop being a sports show?
Hey, we talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about. Hey, but you know what? We got to switch it up every now and then because this isn't just a Spurs-centric show. We can't let the Spurs encompass everything about the show, but we talked a little Spurs. We talked about everything. We talked about the Grammys because, I mean, it had just happened, you know?
So yesterday I posted a video of me talking about Joni Mitchell singing at the Grammys.
Yeah, and she's like, what, 80?
She's 80. And then Dua Lipa had appeared, and I pulled a squirrel moment.
Squirrel.
Dude, I did not realize how bad of a squirrel moment
You're like,
was.
Oh, yeah, she's 80 years squirrel.
Dude, and then everyone responding back with Dua Lipa posts. One seed.
Yeah, they didn't. Nobody argued with you.
Seed?
Nobody argued with you on that point. They're like, I agree with this brother, man. Like, Dua Lipa's on point, dude.
Fernandez reaches out on Twitter and says, I always appreciated Toby Keith for the U.S. troops. He was a real one, 100%. Very, very, very nice. Bane comes out on Twitter, says, dude dies suffering, fighting. Okay, first of all, let me say something.
Yeah.
No one deserves to die that way.
It's awful, man. Cancer sucks, period.
We're all going to go somehow. Okay? The movie Fight Club said it the best. You know, in a long enough timeline, the life expectancy is 0. In a long enough timeline, we're all going to die. The survival rate will always be 0. No one deserves to die suffering that way. Okay? So I never said he deserved it, right? Never said that. And no one deserves to die that way. Cancer sucks. And I have family members who have cancer. I get it. Okay? Chris Gonzalez reaches out to us and says, hey, make sure you talk more Cowboys. Told that story about how San Antonio Sports Star, how I held a mutiny at San Antonio Sports Star one time when they kept on encouraging me to talk more Cowboys, and I decided to talk about the Cowboys 3 hours straight to the point where they were saying you talked too much Cowboys. That was my way of being a dick like Toby Keith was back in the day. Okay.
Hey, man.
Oh, Daniel Castro, which is a good point. People should know that Toby Keith was registered Democrat for years, then became an independent. Well, no, he did not become an independent. He became a Republican. In fact, he actually received the Medal of Honor from Donald Trump, and he also sang at his inauguration. So, two different things. Toby Keith politically, someone asked me the question if I disagreed with him politically, and that's why I felt that way.
Yeah.
Toby Keith was actually pretty interesting when it came to his political opinions. Some of the things that he was about were hardcore, would be hardcore MAGA right now, but some of the things that he was also for were hardcore leftists as well. I would say that probably he was 60-40 more conservative, but he wasn't like 100% diehard on the right, and he most definitely wasn't diehard on the left.
He had his own opinions.
And
man.
Also, by the way, things change when it comes to politics.
Yeah.
The term Democrat Republican mean absolutely nothing. It all has to do with liberal versus conservative, because they actually change platforms every once in a while. Look up the Southern strategy of the early 60s and the civil rights movement.
We're going to have to talk about this during the show sometime. I am having my squirrel moment right now.
Yeah.
And I saw that the Daily Loud just tweeted out something, and it's a close-up that's gone viral of LeBron James' toes, dude, as he's walking. He's walking down like a pier. I just retweeted it right now.
Oh, you did?
And I'm just like, dude, that looks all jacked up. And they're like, LeBron James currently has a picture of his feet going viral from all his years playing professional basketball. It looks awful, dude.
That is brutal, man. Brutal. Hey, you're mentioning LeBron James. I was reading earlier today. There was a Austin Rivers, the former NBA player, right? He was being interviewed yesterday, and I thought it was interesting because Austin Rivers said that he does not think that it is in Bronny James's best interest to eventually play with his dad. He said, why would you want to be overshadowed by your dad's greatness? Why don't you create a niche all of your own? And why don't you be your own man and try to do something on your own, as opposed to rely on my dad being there? Like, why are we allowing nepotism in basketball? I found that to be very interesting. What are your thoughts on whether or not it's the best thing for Bronny James to eventually play with his dad? Because also Austin Rivers said, right now, Bronny James does not have the talent to be in the NBA, much less be drafted into the NBA. I found that to be interesting.
I think the real reason behind the whole thing of LeBron wanting to play with his son is kind of like symbolic, passing the torch over to his boy, on the biggest stage in front of everybody, like, hey, I'm leaving, but hey, Bronny, it's your thing now, your generation, you pick up the mantle from where I left off. I think that's basically what LeBron wants to do. Is it good for Bronny? Probably not, because he's going to get a lot of attention no matter what. But with his dad right there next to him, he's going to get that unwanted attention. And the focus and the spotlight's going to be on the kid. That's a lot of pressure as a rookie, man.
I have the comment up on my screen right now. Austin Rivers knows what he's talking about when it comes to this, because he didn't play with his dad, but he played for his dad. His dad is Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
And he was a player under his own dad. And Austin Rivers said, quote, I don't want to see Bronny play with LeBron. I went through something similar. Bronny's success isn't at a top tier level. I don't want that negativity to come his way. And then again goes on to say he should create his own niche and become his own man. Austin Rivers, I thought, had a very, very interesting take on this, because again, dad being Doc Rivers, former Spur, former head coach, now the head coach over there in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I just thought that Austin Rivers had a very, very, very good perspective. And I wasn't even going to talk about this, but you did bring up LeBron James. So I thought this whole situation was important. The NBA trade deadline is Thursday. And
Spurs
people
ain't doing shit.
People
bro.
already reaching out saying that they're seeing stories about the Spurs going after Tyus Jones in exchange for his brother Trey Jones, or not in exchange, but also maybe bringing him in.
Yeah.
The thing about it is this: a lot of people are like, I saw some Spurs fans go, "Yeah, we should bring in Tyus Jones because he could back up his brother Trey Jones." If we brought in Tyus Jones, eventually Tyus Jones would be the starter, not Trey. Tyus Jones and Trey Jones, very similar players. They're not only are they brothers, but their play is similar. The difference being, Tyus Jones makes threes.
39%. That's what somebody put right now.
And Trey Jones shoots at 28%. Tyus Jones is better than Trey. I like Trey, but Tyus is better. And Tyus doesn't play as bad of defense as Trey does. Tyus would be the starter eventually. Not right away, but it would happen eventually. But NBA trade deadline is Thursday, and the Spurs, they're going to make a move. I'm a firm believer that the Spurs are going to make some sort of move, because we've done it the past few years.
They ain't doing shit because they tanking. Man.
No, I didn't say we're going to get a good player.
Yeah.
We're going to make a move, because we've traded Thad Young. We've traded Derek White. We've traded DeMar
They're
DeRozan.
going to trade for more draft capital.
We're going to do something. There will be some sort of trade going on.
Free Devontae Graham, man. Like, let that brother go. He ain't doing nothing. He's just collecting dust in the bench, dude. Let him go. Set him free, man. Let him go play with somebody. Maybe he can go play with a team that's going to make the playoffs or something, man. He's just sitting there.
Yeah.
Ain't doing nothing.
And the Spurs, do have, like as you mentioned, the draft capital to make something happen. There are reports out there that say that the Tyus Jones going to the Spurs would be a possibility. And then Spurs fans are stupid sometimes, man. We gotta admit it. I was going back and forth with somebody on Twitter yesterday who was saying, "Oh, I would want this particular player. We could trade a first round draft pick. Let's trade the Charlotte one." I said, "Well, the Charlotte first round draft pick is never going to happen because it's top, 14 protected.
Protected, yeah.
And if it doesn't convey this year or next year, it becomes second rounders. Well, that's why I would want to get rid of it." Well, my response should have been, but I didn't want to go into it. That's why nobody else would want that pick. It's not like we get to hold it as a secret. Like, we traded them a first round draft pick that's never going to convey. They fucking know that too, man. They know that too. Oh, well, we're going to trade. We should trade Zach Collins because he sucks. Well, guess what? Everybody else knows that he sucks.
Yeah,
If you want something good, you got to trade for something good.
Yeah.
You got to trade something positive. And on top of that, you might have to pay the small town tax.
Not only that, but you're going to have to give up some players that fans have become enamored with. Anytime you want to go ahead and make some trades to make your team better, it's going to hurt.
Right.
It's going to hurt.
Mario Cavazos, if they trade your son Devin, will you cry? I will cry if they trade him for just picks. Devin Vassell, we talked about this yesterday. Devin Vassell, an astute point by Don Harris from News 4 San Antonio, talking about the fact that Devin Vassell refused to pass the ball to Wemby on the last play of the game and instead shot a brick from 28 feet to win the game. And he went out and said, I would have done it again, even though Wemby was wide open and even though they called a timeout to run this particular play. And Vassell was like, fuck it, I'm going to shoot it. Devin Vassell might not be part of the rebuild. He might not be a good complement to Victor Wembanyama. So I would understand if they got rid of him, but what I don't want to get is a first rounder. I want to get a player and a pick if we're going to trade Devin Vassell. Same thing goes for Keldon Johnson. Hand of a fist reaches out. He's just joining us right now. What's happening, MJ and Joel? You missed me getting roasted earlier.
Oh man, they're coming after you, man.
Oh well, we've moved on from the topic.
What's happening, MJ and Joe? What's up, man? And what is it Mario Cavazos says? He says Spurs need to package their pick and Toronto's, if not a top 6, along with the players for Devin Booker type of talent. I'm telling you, man.
Well, then we need to trade 6 first rounders.
Book's contract's coming up, man.
Then we need to trade 6 first rounders. People think that the Spurs can trade 1 or 2 first round draft picks and get a superstar. That is not the cost. Look how much it costs for Mike Conley. Look how much it costs for Rudy Gobert. You had to unload 4, 5, or 6 first rounders and players to get a star.
Yeah.
2 first rounders ain't going to do dick.
Spurs need a point guard, man. They need some players that can actually shoot the 3 and guard the wing, and that doesn't mean that you have to go after top level talent. You just need to go after some role players that can actually do their job well. That's all I'm saying. Because right now, the level of talent that you have surrounding Wemby right now is questionable. I mean, you're going to go into next season with the same crew, expect the same results. Nothing's going to change.
I guess right now, I mean, I used to say that the only untradeable player aside from Wemby is Vassell. Maybe it's Sohan. Maybe Sohan and Wemby are developing something there because Sohan is playing more of the 4 than he did before. Our good friend Eric Salinas was on Twitter earlier today talking about the fact that Pop had an interview with a French publication and went on to say that they want to build organically through the draft like Oklahoma City did. Well, the thing is, Oklahoma City did more than just the draft because OKC's best player, MVP candidate Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, was not done by the draft. That was done by a trade. They traded Paul George for him.
Yeah.
So we can't fall under this bullshit that Oklahoma City went through the draft, because if they went solely through the draft, how many wins would a team right now with Giddey, Chet Holmgren, and J-Dub go for? They'd be just like us.
Yeah.
They have an MVP candidate that they got how? Not through the draft. They got him through a trade. So that's nonsense. Goes on to say that Pop believes that there's no such thing as a traditional point guard anymore. Okay, then what are we going to do? Point forwards? I hate that logic, man. I absolutely hate that logic. And it sounds more and more like it's the same crap all over again. We're just gonna have them marinate, and they're gonna get better on their own. Not bringing any free agents, gonna get better on their own. Nothing is gonna happen, man. Nothing is gonna happen. You take a look at teams right now that built through the draft. You can only go so far. Cleveland Cavaliers are a team that built through the draft. They also got some trades as well, but they built through the draft a lot. But it took a trade along the way to make that happen. When I say the Spurs are going to do something, I hope it's going to be beyond adding to their cachet of 25 second rounders that we got the next 5 years.
That's a lot of draft capital, man. But at the end of the day, you got to use it.
It's useless.
No, you got to use it.
Look at the Joe Wieskamps of the world in the second round.
I mean, you got to use some of that draft capital to make the team better. I mean, you have to use it in some capacity. If you're going to be going after players in the draft, and you're going to get younger and younger, and what are we going to become? A farming team? A farm team? You know, I mean,
we only have one Austin team.
Exactly. That's over in Austin. That's the Austin Spurs. San Antonio Spurs are degrading themselves if they're going to use all these picks as a farm team.
Well, let's go through the Spurs right now. Let's go through the Spurs rodeo road trip. So the Spurs will not be back in town until February 29th. So the next 3.5 weeks, they are gone. The Spurs schedule, though, 9 road games. And what I like to do, Joe, is go line by line on some of these things. How are the Spurs going to be after the rodeo road trip? Are we going to get our act together?
No.
What's going to go on? Spurs right now with a record of 10-40. That's right, a 200 winning percentage, which means we're on track to win 16 games. Spurs had won 3 out of 5, but lost 4 in a row after losing home games to Washington, Orlando, New Orleans, and Cleveland. We're on the road at Miami, the road tomorrow. Yeah. The following day, on the road at Orlando. Then we head over to Brooklyn.
Lonnie's going to have a good game against the Spurs. I wouldn't be surprised he drops 30 on them, man.
That would be funny.
He's going to give him a 30-piece nugget meal, man.
Then we've got Toronto, Dallas, Sacramento, LA, Utah, Minnesota. And then we come home to Oklahoma. Dude, remember that one time I told you earlier that the Spurs losing streak would get to 20? And it did. And everyone looked at me like I was a effing idiot. And it got there.
Yeah.
People say that I'm the king of bad takes. That was a take that they roasted me on for so long. And when it became true, did anybody give me credit? No. Look at this, man. They might go 0-9 and then lose to when they get home to Oklahoma City. This might be the makings of yet another double-digit losing streak.
I'd said the same thing on Locked On Spurs. I told Jeff, Spurs fans better brace themselves because this particular road trip, the Spurs could just lay an egg and not win any games. I told them I really don't have any faith in them winning any games on the road. Mm-hmm. The only game I think is winnable for them is the one on February the 25th against the Utah Jazz.
That is a winnable game. I mean, they are under 500, just barely 25-26.
And it's not on the back end of a back-to-back where Coach Pop is going to say, I'm going to rest Wemby. He's going to rest Wemby probably on the 23rd against the Lakers, which is the game that's 2 days prior to the Jazz. Wemby will be fresh. Maybe he'll play against the Jazz. Mm-hmm. I like their chances then. But it also depends on who Coach Pop is going to let play. He's going to sit somebody, of course. Who's that going to be? Is it going to affect the Spurs' chances of winning against a very bad Jazz team?
My goodness, man. If the Spurs finish the season with just 16, 17 wins, How do we have these people who are still in Pop We Trust? How does that exist? Pop has had 5 losing seasons in a row. How long are we going to keep going on with this in Pop We Trust crap? Or in Brian Wright We Trust? David Atwater, Tim Gonzalez, Chris Gonzalez, all agree they believe the Spurs are going to go 2-7 on this rodeo road trip.
Yeah, there you have it. Chris Gonzalez, 2-7.
David Atwater also saying that Lonnie Walker sucks. Lonnie Walker would probably be a top 6 or 7 player for the Spurs this year. So if Lonnie Walker sucks, then our entire team minus Wemby sucks right now.
Hey man, the Nets suck hard. And what happened with Ben Simmons, man? He already got injured again. He came back, got injured again.
Klay Thompson, dude. We got to get into Klay Thompson because someone earlier today just posted on our feed, free Steph Curry.
I saw that. Hey, Tim Gonzalez, you bring up a very good point. Do you see what he said? Spurs won when Jimenez was out of town.
Dude, I keep hearing that, man.
They didn't want to let you back. But Spurs Twitter's like, they'll let him back in.
But Sohan balls out when I'm on the 5th row. So what are we going to do here?
Hey, he did ball out that last game that we were at. We were right there. I think he did it just for you, just to spite you, man.
Dude, I 100% agree. So last night, the Golden State Warriors beat the Brooklyn Nets 109-98. It was a road victory to get the Warriors to 22-25. They're fighting to get into the play-in tournament at this point. But I do have video on my Twitter account right now that I'm going to post or just show right now.
Can we show this video?
I have no idea.
Every time I go to you, it's like, bro, what are we doing?
It's Klay Thompson being interviewed after the game. And we're not going to show the sound of this, but Klay Thompson, if you can just take a look at his reaction here. The reporter is saying, hey, man, how does it feel to be taken out of the game in crunch time? How to get taken out of the game in the 4th quarter, not really play much in the 4th quarter. And by the way, this is not the first time that this has happened.
Yeah.
On Friday, he was pulled out of the game, and in crunch time, Moses Moody played instead, or Jonathan Kuminga played instead. And Klay Thompson, at the beginning of the interview, is being very thankful, and it's like saying, "Hey, man, the young guys balled out. The young guys did well. They did good. I'm happy to see them grow." He was being very politically correct when it came to it all. And Draymond Green, being the dick that he is, came out and you could hear him in the background saying, are they talking about us pulling you out of the game? I was pulled out of game 5 of the NBA Finals and no one gives me shit about it. That's what Draymond Green's screaming in the background.
It's like, it ain't about you, dude.
Exactly. And Klay Thompson basically says that it's difficult going from being one of the best players in the NBA to where he is right now, which is basically average to slightly above average. He's averaging 17 points per game, still knocking down threes at a 40% clip. But the thing about this guy, Klay Thompson's injuries prevent him from actually playing defense anymore. He used to be a very, very good defender. Klay Thompson, obviously one of the Splash Brothers with Steph Curry, he was almost as good as a defender as he was an offensive player.
Yeah.
He was better offensively, but defense was no joke back in the day. He has no lateral movement anymore, and he is struggling to stay on the floor because even though he's shooting decently, he can't pass as well. He can't move up and down the court anymore, and the guy's going to be a free agent. He wants a max deal. They ain't going to give him a max deal.
Come to San Antonio, man. You ain't going to get a max deal, but maybe they'll keep you for 3 years.
The corporate knowledge that he could bring to San Antonio.
Winning knowledge, man.
Winning knowledge.
Winning knowledge.
You know, be a player coach type of thing.
I like that. David Atwater. Bring Klay to San Antonio, man.
I mean, if anything, to show people how to shoot. You know, we need a shooting doctor over here. You know, our
Chip ain't walking through the building anytime soon.
Exactly.
Man.
Why not just show Klay Thompson, man, over and over again? But I feel bad for the guy because he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I believe he's been the All-Star team 5 times. He's won several rings. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, no doubt. But he's in that part of his career, early 30s, 33, 34 years old, where he's just not the player that he was before, and he doesn't know how to take it. And you could see it in his eyes. You could see it in his facial expressions that he just doesn't know how to become a role player when he's been a star for so long.
It's that time you got to start thinking about coming off the bench and getting some limited minutes, and maybe you can do something with that. It'd probably be better for him, quite honestly. And we got Gert Vandergrift joining us again from the Netherlands.
Welcome, brother. Welcome. You missed the roasting earlier today, but you can always rewind. Vainstain says, Klay for 2 tacos.
What kind of tacos are we talking, man? From where?
Jesus Rivera, when the fuck did he play D? He was a very good defensive player. The thing is that his offensive game was so good, it overshadowed the fact that he could actually play D. He was a very good defender.
And look at David Atwater says, Spurs wanted Klay in the draft, but traded for Kawhi instead.
Well, I mean, that was probably the better move at the time. I mean, we didn't know that Kawhi was going to have a degenerative issue with his whole body.
It was Uncle, man. Uncle got it to him, dude. It all happened that one time he went to the NBA All-Star game, and he started noticing some things. Hey, man, how come the organizations that these players play for, they got these guys riding up in private limos? Kawhi sitting in an Uber or Lyft or something.
Yeah.
That's when things started to change, man. He saw how the other side lived. He's like, I want that. I want that for me, man. I'm tired of San Antonio.
Super Bowl 58 is this weekend on Sunday. It's going to be around, like a 5:30 some odd kickoff here in San Antonio. This is taking place in Las Vegas. Niners taking on the Chiefs. Lots of great storylines, but of course the headlines yesterday was the fact that the San Francisco 49ers are bitching because they have concerns over the field conditions over there.
They should be watching out for the damn Coyotes. You saw that report.
I did see that. Yeah. Now, it's also flooding in Las Vegas right now.
Oh, anytime it rains, man, they got that flash flooding out there bad. They don't have a good drainage system in the city. So when they get a torrential downpour, everything's flooded.
Yeah, you see all the garages right now in Las Vegas. They were showing that you couldn't get in and out of certain casinos.
Underwater, bro.
That's crazy. But, you always have this conversation about turf conditions. And it's always San Francisco that bitches about it. It's never another team. It's always San Francisco. But, maybe it has something to do with the rain. But Vegas right now, underwater for the most part. It's absolutely crazy what's going on over there. But I'm sure, it's going to be an indoor game anyway. So not that big of a deal. But San Francisco complained about that. I'm wondering this weekend what the big storyline is going to be. Because I think we're going to have this discussion about the quarterbacks when it's all said and done. If Kansas City wins, you're going to have Patrick Mahomes on pace to keep up with Tom Brady. And that whole GOAT conversation comes into play. Tom Brady, the GOAT, because he has all the rings. The best quarterback of all time, though, is Patrick Mahomes. But he gets to get into that GOAT conversation even more. Brock Purdy wins. And if the Niners win because of Brock Purdy, Brock suddenly becomes no longer, he's a game manager.
Yeah.
He becomes kind of an elite kind of guy. And I'm fascinated by how all of this is going to break down. I'm fascinated by the defense of the Niners going after Kansas City. Kansas City having a very good defense. What's Kansas City going to do with Christian McCaffrey? Is Deebo Samuel going to be able to play? And if he is, how effective will he be? There's so many great storylines when it comes to all of this.
Yeah, man. And that's the thing about the Super Bowl. The media knows how to run with those storylines, man.
Yeah.
You're going to see all sorts of interviews coming out. You're going to see a bunch of articles ahead of the Super Bowl matchup, So it's interesting how things go. And, the other thing is I like to also see how some of the media interacts with the people on Media Row, some of the interviews and the way that they're able to talk with some of these guys, like Shannon Sharp, for example. He was out there in Media Row last season or last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people were just talking with him. He was very accessible, and he likes to talk with people. So it's like I like to see them kind of, some of these high profile hosts kind of just, chopping it up with the people, man. It's more of a relaxed atmosphere,
Yeah, it's interesting what they do over there in at Radio Row and all of that leading up to the Super Bowl. You mentioned how relaxed it is. It did get a little tense yesterday because they did have that event that they do on the Monday before the Super Bowl, where they have all the media go in there. It's like a pep rally, if you will, and they had it at Allegiant Stadium, and someone asked Patrick Mahomes about his dad being arrested, and there are reports out there that Patrick Mahomes Sr. had an open can of beer at the time. Third time being arrested for DWI. This happened in Tyler, Texas. And Patrick Mahomes basically said, hey, it's a family issue. Please give us some privacy when it comes to it. But obviously disappointed by what happened out there. Drew Show reaches out and says, never let it be said that Jimenez is afraid of all the smoke he pops off. It is like an Elton John song. He comes on the show and sings. Appreciate
I'm still
that, Drew.
standing.
Very
that
nice.
should be your new intro song.
So the next comment, we're still talking about Toby Keith.
Jeez.
Bang. Wait, did Jimenez apologize for the Toby Keith comment? LOL.
Yes.
I guess it's a shade of an apology.
He said he was sorry in the beginning of the show.
It was an apology. There was
an apology out of you.
I apologize for being a dick about calling somebody else a dick.
Yeah.
I was a dick. Toby Keith was a dick. I pointed out that he was a dick. It was a dick move for doing it the day that he died. Fair enough. That's funny, dude.
Look at Jesus Rivera. He says, did y'all hear about Bill Belichick recruiting at the Pro Bowl? Doesn't surprise me, man. But you know what? They always go ahead and focus like on Bill Belichick or a high profile coach. How much of this stuff is actually going on at any given time? A lot, I bet.
Well, explain the recruiting aspect of it all.
You're trying to avidly trying to recruit people to come play for your team. Talking with players. Hey, why don't you come over here? That kind of thing. In the NFL and the NBA, for example, too, they frown upon that kind of activity.
Right.
But it goes on quite a bit, I'm sure. We just don't hear a lot of it.
Yeah, I still don't know what Bill Belichick's going to be doing ultimately. I don't think anything has come about.
I don't think he's going to be coaching, dude. I don't think anybody is that desperate right now to go after Bill Belichick, because the thing is, he's shown what he can do without Tom Brady,
which is nothing.
Exactly.
I mean, the same could be said about Pop without Tim Duncan and without Kawhi Leonard. He has done absolutely nothing. Oh Chris Gonzalez. Jimenez talking about people being dicks reminds me of the speech from Team America. Is Team America the America?
It's that show about the puppets, man. Come on.
America. Yeah. We're out to save the motherfucking day. America. Fuck yeah. Is that Team America? Okay. I remember watching that like 15, 16 years ago. That was a long time ago, man. Goodness, people are still going on about it all. Hey, can you explain something to me? I don't follow wrestling too much. Can you explain to me the whole thing about The Rock and why people are giving The Rock crap right now about WWE?
Cody Rhodes has been wrestling this whole season, right? This whole year, right?
Okay.
The brother's out there working hard, doing matches, pay-per-views, all this stuff. He was supposed to come out and battle Roman Reigns, right, at WrestleMania, the biggest stage. It's like the Super Bowl of wrestling. Right. But instead, the TKO group has a new chairman of the board, so to speak, and The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
So The Rock comes out, I believe it was at Royal Rumble, and Cody just steps aside and says, I'm going to let you take my place at WrestleMania, the biggest stage.
Oh,
that's a dick move, man. Like, Cody Rhodes deserves that, man. Like, you're going to take that away from the brother. Like, come on, man. What's The Rock going to do? He's old as shit already. He's in great shape. But everybody was pissed off at that. They're kind of coming at him.
And they were chanting against him.
Man. They ruffled a lot of feathers doing that. That was kind of a dick move, man.
I had no idea. I didn't watch that, by the way. Obviously, I didn't watch it. I'm not a big wrestling guy, but I wasn't going to watch.
Yeah, see, Legacy of Nerds. Shout out to you, Legacy of Nerds, a friend of the show. Cody Rhodes has been putting in the work, and Rocky just came back and pushed Cody aside. You see, that's a dick move, man.
That is interesting.
You see, and look, at Cody Rhodes' story is supposed to be him beating Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, but The Rock made it a condition on his contract that he would get the main match instead. And he had to go out there and Cody, with Cody, and Cody has to, hug him up, give him some dap, like everything's cool. I bet you Cody behind the scenes is livid, bro. Livid.
That's funny, man. But The Rock is The Rock, man. It's all about entertainment value.
But it's also about respect too, man. At the end of the day, are the people going to respect you for what you're doing? Basically, you're pulling a power move, and the fans, they don't like that, man. They don't appreciate that. It's gotten so bad that The Rock's daughter, I just saw on Twitter, is getting death threats, bro.
I read about that.
Damn.
I read about that. Let's get some entertainment news. We have the bump.
Oh yeah, we got the bump. I was looking at some of these things here.
Entertainment news. Which do we want to go with? Do we want to go with the porn star fighting for her life, or do we want to go with the rapper who won Grammys and got arrested the same night?
You know what kind of show we are, man. Let's go with the porn star fighting for her life.
All right, let's go.
I heard about this.
Let's go ahead and go onto my screen here.
Yeah.
Because according to TMZ.com, Emily Willis hospitalized after an apparent overdose in critical condition. This comes, a week after Jessie Jane?
Yeah. No, maybe a little more than that. It was 2 weeks now.
Yeah, she died of an overdose along with her boyfriend. I think they were found in Oklahoma.
Together.
And Jessie Jane was somebody who crossed over into the mainstream. She was in the TV show Entourage back in the day on HBO. But according to TMZ, it says famous porn star Emily Willis hospitalized after an apparent overdose, that she's in bad shape and doctors are trying to work on her. She is 25 years old. This happened in Thousand Oaks, California. And apparently she's had issues with drugs in the past and had been in rehab before. She's been in the biz for 8 years or almost 8 years or so. And long story short, this is a long line of people in that industry who kind of just, a lot of them just flame out, man. And a lot of them are on drugs. But Emily Willis is in critical condition right now. The other story that we were talking about was from yesterday. The fact that Killer Mike won 3 Grammys on Sunday in the afternoon when they had the afternoon presentations, not the evening show. And then that evening was arrested at the Grammys trying to run out of the building in the pouring rain so that he wouldn't get arrested. And he says, quote, "It was because of confusion involving what is described as an overzealous guard." TMZ has video of everything except for the confrontation at hand. Basically, he says that there was confusion as to where they were allowed to go and not be. And apparently one of the guards got shoved, may have gotten knocked down, and Killer Mike was taken away and arrested. So it goes on to say that it landed him in cuffs. And he says, quote, to TMZ, "As you can imagine, there's a lot going on, and there was some confusion around which door my team and I should enter. We experienced an overzealous security guard, but my team and I have the utmost confidence that I will ultimately be cleared of all wrongdoing. Until that time, keep listening to Michael as we keep going and follow your dreams." Photos of him being led away. But there's no video of it. So you would think there would be video evidence of this, right? But Killer Mike got his three Grammys on Sunday, then spent the night in the pokey. Last night, speaking of the Grammys, also winning 3 awards was Taylor Swift. Travis Kelce coming out and saying that he's heard her new album. She won Best Pop Album and Best Album at the Grammys. While on stage, she announced the fact that a new album will come out in April. Travis Kelce, her boyfriend, yesterday, talking to sports media saying, "I've heard her album and it's amazing."
Really? Hey, man, you know what? I like that name, though, for you. Killer Mike. Killer Mike.
Dick Mike. That's what it is.
We need to get your face and put it on Killer Mike's body, dude. I know somebody can make that happen.
I know Fist asking the question, what does she OD on? I have a joke in mind, but I'm not going to say it.
Oh, God. Jesus Rivera. There you go.
Any porn star in bed with me is fighting for their life.
That sounds like something you would say, man. They said Post Malone is on a track with Taylor.
Dude, Post Malone. I don't know if you ever saw that video of Post Malone where he was interviewed by, what's his name? Howard Stern. And Post Malone was talking about the fact that he was at an event and it was a bunch of interviews being done. And he's walking by and Taylor Swift stops him and says, I love your song. I love this hook, blah, 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 blah. And that he was floored. He was like, well, A, he did not realize Taylor Swift was going to be there.
Yeah.
B, did not realize that Taylor Swift knew who he was. And C, the fact that she talked about a song of his and a specific part of his song just threw him off. Like he was walking to the next interview. He was beaming.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because a lot of the public hates Taylor Swift, but in the music industry, I think a lot of people love her, and a lot of people love Post Malone too.
Yeah. The thing with Taylor, man, is that Taylor listens to everything, dude. Like she's in grind, in the music industry. So she like listens to all the popular artists. She listens to up and coming artists. She knows what's good, and she knows how to collab with some of these artists, and that's good for business for both of them because it gets Taylor to introduce new artists, and it also has these artists, they get introduced to Taylor's repertoire of music, her music library, and they become fans. It's good to go ahead and collab with people, but the thing is that a lot of people hate Taylor, but I think she's very genuine about it. When she likes your music, she likes your music, and she'll be like, if she gives you an opportunity to collab, that's good for business. Look at what she's done with the NFL.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you do a song with her and it gets popular and it goes off? You're going to be making some bank off of that.
Well, the last album that she had, she collaborated with Haley Williams from Paramore.
And look at what happened with her.
She's collaborated with her ex-boyfriend Calvin Harris before.
Yeah. Didn't Haley just win a Grammy?
Haley Williams won too.
Good. Taylor's good for business, bro.
Oh my goodness. Right now, I want to thank everybody for getting off the topic of Toby Keith. Okay. We discussed it at first. I'm seeing all the different comments coming in right now.
Talking about wrestling and everything else, dude.
Talking about wrestling. We're back on track when it comes to things. Dude, I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl. I'm selling squares right now. So my friends rely on me to be that guy to sell squares. Do you ever do that, man?
I've brought squares. I don't sell them, dude. That's just too much work.
It's frustrating, man.
Yeah, no, man.
It is frustrating, but I do it anyway. And I don't take any dollars out of it or anything like that. James Molina saying Paramore's touring with Taylor Swift in Europe right now. That's true. And what's disappointing is that when they come back stateside and they play in New Orleans this year, which is the one that I plan on going, Paramore will not be opening for them.
Look at this. Jesus Rivera says SZA has a collab with Paramore coming out.
SZA. We got to talk about SZA. I think she's a high C, dude. I think that SZA is a top 2 seed, man.
She's top tier talent.
I mean, she cute. She hot. She fine.
Man, you would know what to do with that, Mike. You'd be scared, bro.
Man,
you'd be fighting for your life, brother.
Only had a chance, right?
Break Mike off a chance. Oh God.
Man, I mean, I'm just saying, I mean,
oh gosh, look at Jonathan C. SZA has a collab with Toby Keith in the works. Just kidding.
Hey, Sister Veta says Mike is a square nerdy ass dude. I am a nerd, dude. No, actually, I'm not a nerd. I'm a dork. Two different things. Two different things.
You know what we didn't talk about, and I just saw this earlier today and yesterday too. Yeah. Late yesterday. Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah,
she's coming to San Antonio. She's going to be performing at the Frost Bank Center in May, and tickets are going to be going on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. That might be something that I might be into because both my wife and my daughter, they like Stevie Nicks, and I'm a fan of Fleetwood Mac from back in the day.
Yeah,
that might be a show worth going to, man.
Man, Stevie Nicks has some really good songs. I mean, she's a legend.
She can still sing, dude. So
she has that very raspy, smoky voice. I mean, I know, you have, Go Your Own Way and Gypsy and all that stuff. But I love Landslide. I love Silver Springs. She's also well known for Edge of 17. I mean, I remember Destiny's Child took Edge of 17 and made that whole song. I don't think you're ready for my jelly. It was a Bootylicious. There you go.
Yeah.
Did that song based on it. Stevie Nicks is a legend, and female musicians for the past 50 years have been following Stevie Nicks and what she does. Incredible voice coming to San Antonio. That's amazing, man.
We need to
Absolutely
talk
amazing.
about some Super Bowl food, I think, on Thursday's episode.
Yeah.
So Tim Gonzalez is asking Mike and Joe, what's a good meal for Super Bowl, man? You can't go wrong with wings, dude. Like, wings are always a staple. You got to have some good go-to dip, man. The dip is great.
Is crucial, man. It is crucial.
That with the chips, man, you just be eating that all through the game.
Now,
man.
here's the game changer, though, man. When it comes to chips and you want dip, you got to stay away from the Lay's chips, man. They're not conducive towards it all.
And they're salty as fuck, dude.
You need the Ruffles, baby. The Ruffles has ridges. Those ridges trap perfectly the dip.
No, man, the ones that I like are the scoops.
There you
scoops
go.
are my jam, bro. Like you can just like a little spoon, you know?
Now the on the border tortilla chips,
those are good. Dude.
I mean, if you're not gonna go and get like Culebra Meat Market, because I know those are better, but if I'm talking about go to HEB, get some chips.
On the border is good.
On the border for the tortilla chips.
Those Titos, man. I like those small little round chips, the circular ones.
Yeah, oh, those are good.
Those are good as shit, dude.
The Frito scoops.
Yep.
And the Ruffles. Not Lay's. The Ruffles wavies. That's fine. That's what you get for chips. I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm going to get drunk on Sunday because I'm going out Saturday. I'm going to the rodeo on Saturday. So
are you going to get drunk at the rodeo?
Maybe.
Indulge.
I'll be there.
Man, if you eat any of that rodeo food, bro, there goes your whole diet, man. It's out the window.
Well, I mean, maybe I'll just do it all protein. I'll do all the turkey leg and just leave it at that.
You start getting any of that deep fried stuff, man, you're done, dude.
But Daddy likes a funnel cake, man.
You're done. You eat one funnel cake, you're gonna be having to run that off for the whole week, dude. Or do one day of boot camp with Jeff.
Jeff called me and gave me shit about it. He says that
he was telling me about that at the game.
He said that I misrepresented the workout. Dude, the workout he gave me was hard. I don't know what else to say.
That's what he was telling me. Mike misrepresented. He made it seem like all we're doing is just bulking up. He goes, that wasn't what it was about.
He made us carry a car. They had it on blocks. Yeah. We had to pick it up. Just plain.
A car. I'm like, this isn't the strongman competition, Mike, man.
People reaching out saying Trader's Village has the best turkey legs. And they also have a lot of gorditas walking around as well.
Juanito's tortilla chips are goated. I got to try those, man.
Jesus says, got to have ketchup.
Yeah, that's sick. Sick bastard, dude. I think he's the one that was putting up like pictures of a hot dog with mayo on it. I'm like, bro,
that is gross, dude.
That's freaking gross, man.
I will have Fireball on Sunday. That I will know for sure.
That's gross. Fireball and Jägermeister. No, thank you, man.
Drew Show says, hurry up and watch Stevie Nicks live while you can. Don't wait until she's up on the Grammy stage with Dua Lipa looking befuddled and confused.
No,
Drew Show reached out to me yesterday because when I made that post about Dua Lipa looking so fine.
Squirrel.
my squirrel moment. He was like, why does she look befuddled? And maybe it's because Joni Mitchell, I don't know. Was she big in Europe? I mean, I don't know. But that whole Dua Lipa thing.
They're still going after the Dua Lipa thing, man.
Dude,
the clip from yesterday.
She is amazing, dude. Dua Lipa.
You have Joni Mitchell there singing, sitting down with the cane and everything. Dua Lipa, Mike's all squirrel.
Oh, there she is right there. Dua Lipa looking like an absolute nugget.
And then they focus, they show Dua Lipa, then they start focusing on Beyonce. I'm like, show more Dua, dude.
Okay, here's Dua Lipa performing at the Grammys. If you want to show this, oh, Dua Lipa, amazing.
No, let me show it. There you go. You said she couldn't dance.
She's getting better. She's getting better. It's getting a little thicker too. I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
What if she gets BB Rex a dick, bro?
No, dude, that's a little bit too much, man. BB Rex is a little much, dude. A little too much. Lainey Wilson, though,
Lainey Wilson.
not bad.
Man.
Not bad at all.
No.
Pen of a Fist says, yeah, Dua is a piece. I'm trying to find there's a photo. I don't know how. Oh, here's how it goes. I'm trying to figure out how to use. This was the photo right there from the other day.
Look at that.
One last one on Dua Lipa.
There it is.
There she is, right there. 1 seed.
That's what a 1 seed looks like.
That is a 1 seed right there. 1 seed at the Grammys. Very, very cool. Oh my goodness. Who posted Lainey Wilson lost her ass?
No, Jesus. Hey, look at Chris Gonzalez. I knew I saw BB Rexa, man, at the Grammys. Hey, Joe, have you seen your girl BB Rex's dress? Damn.
Let's look it up.
Grammy dress. I told you I saw my girl BB there, man.
All right. Well, let's look at some BB Rex right here.
What's wrong with her, man?
That's too much, dude.
No,
that's
bro.
too much.
No, bro.
That's too much.
That's just like a regular Latina here in San Antonio, bro. Come on, man.
Why are we having this conversation?
No, bro.
Druso says that homegirl had no clue who Joni Mitchell was, but she is fine. But all the question marks above her head, she looked befuddled. I love that word, befuddled, by the way.
BB looking good, bro. I'll take you out, girl. Let's go get something to eat. I know you're hungry.
You can supersize, girl.
I'm hungry too, girl. Let's go.
You want that third tortilla?
Of course she does, bro. Come on, man.
Does she have flour or corn tortilla, girl?
Oh, she eat both. She eating both, man.
She wants queso with her chips.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, let's call this a show. R.I.P. Toby Keith. I'm sorry. Okay, I am sorry.
Oh God.
I was being a dick for calling him a dick when he actually was a dick until he wasn't. There you go. Everyone have a fantastic Tuesday. My name is Mike Jimenez. That is Joe Garcia. Reach out to us on Twitter at MJ Acquired Taste, at Two Shots Podcast. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't. Share with your friends if you haven't already. Talk to you guys soon.
Peace.